is Fabulous Innovative Spaces Week, right? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, and our presenters this morning, I will let them come up and introduce themselves and tell us about Innovative Spaces Week and their company, MultiPass. So without further ado, Sarah and Christian, come on up.
Welcome to our second event of Innovative Spaces Week. So this week is all about celebrating these amazing spaces around St. Louis that are changing our economic landscape. Yesterday we had an incredible event at Industrious, and we have our feature event tonight here at T-Rex. So today we wanted to talk about our company, MultiPass, and how we came to be and where we are going. I am Sarah Schlafly. I left the accounting world 6 years ago, and I built the digital marketing department of a national CPG company. And now I am co-founding MultiPass with Christian Johnson.
Hello everybody, I'm Christian Johnson. So I founded MultiPass, like just from, can you hear me? I'm sorry. So actually, MultiPass was created here, right here in T-Rex. A few T-Rexers, we were here at an event, and I started talking to them about, like, I have this T-Rex membership, but how can I be at other co-working spaces and also meet other innovators and people to share my ideas with. So I was brainstorming with them, and then I started brainstorming with Sarah, and she gave me this idea of like using the Airbnb model to create this. So that's how it started. So
yeah, Christian and I met at Venture Cafe, and he was telling me this idea about how he had this vision of this pass where you could go to multiple co-working spaces. And I instantly got his vision, and I thought about how I could use it in my own travels, because the very next week I was going to Vietnam. So I was traveling, and I get this text from him that is the whole website already built out, multipassapp.com, and he texts me, "I'm starting this company, you're my co-founder, when you get back, let's kill it." And I turned to my travel buddy, who had asked me what we wanted to do today. I go, "Well, I don't know about you, but I'm starting a company."
yeah, so we just built it out from there. And Sarah actually started calling all these spaces, and not only St. Louis, but in other cities. And we decided to go with breadth instead of depth. So we were saying, okay, like let's just go out and do it, execute. Many of you guys know that being an entrepreneur, 90% of it is just execution, right? You just have to be willing to do it. And she did it, and we weren't afraid. And now, as of today, we're launching in 11 cities. And I do want to give a quick shout out to our first customer. I came in today and got an email notification. They signed up to be here at T-Rex. His name is Tom Whitaker. He flew in from Canada this morning. He's actually in the co-working space. And he decided he was searching, and our stuff came up, and now he's here at T-Rex this morning, knocking out some work. So yeah, so it's crazy.
That's really exciting.
Yeah,
So when not only did we build our website and get into 11 cities, we also did a lot of research about what is going to be our value proposition. So first we were thinking about traveling coworkers, because that's what, hit home, yeah, that's what we are. But the more we researched, the more we saw a bigger market in corporate innovation. And we realized that a lot of corporations have a mobile workforce. And this mobile workforce really struggles working from home, working virtually, and if we could provide them a network of these amazing workspaces to go to, then that it will help with employee retention and really give an incentive for the employees to stay engaged.
Yeah, and I think that that engagement and that type of productivity is very important for these corporations because they're trying to figure out how do we innovate. And innovation is not all just about coming up with the next idea, but it's being able to like come up with better processes and stuff. And companies are figuring out that as their normal workforces are growing older, they're having to attract more millennials, and millennials have options. They can shop around for other companies. So if you're not innovating as a company, you're losing employees. That means your company is going to fail. So we figured that this was a great way entry into the market of business travel, but also corporate innovation. And so that's what we're going with and building that foundation. But then also giving a way for just other individual business travelers, whether you're a startup getting ready for a pitch or whatever, being able to come into a co-working space, just like our guy today.
So now we have two revenue streams. One is that transactional Airbnb model, and then the other is a contractual model with these corporations to provide their employees this network of innovative spaces.
Yes, so we're really excited. This is our first week. So we want to open up to questions and hear from you guys. Is that okay, Melissa?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
And you just do a mic.
All right.
All right, cool. Who wants to start?
How long ago did you all start this business, the idea itself?
Your idea, what was that, June? July?
I think it was came up in May. I think it was May. Yeah, it was May, and then
I got the text in July.
Yeah. So it came up in May, and I just started pitching it to people. And as you know, like a lot of entrepreneurs, like they're afraid of like people stealing your ideas, right? No, it's not about people stealing your ideas. Like, don't worry about that. It's all about execution. And so I started pitching it to people and started hearing like from seasoned people, even T-Rex community. That's why these innovation and innovative spaces are so important, because they gave me so much information, and I started doing research, and then that led to talking to Sarah, and then just saying, okay, like let's do it.
So, like 3 months ago. Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Who else? Go on.
So, what are the costs? What are the price points? And what corporations? Have you identified any corporate clients yet?
That's what we're working on right now. So with this launch, that's one of our asks, actually. If you know of a corporation that has a mobile workforce, we'd love to have an introduction made.
And then also for the transactional one, right now, all the spaces, they set their own prices. So T-Rex, I believe it's 15 today, don't quote me on that. But if you go on our website, you'll be able to see each co-working space. They've already set their prices. We just facilitate that transaction right now and take a percentage of that. So that's more from the pricing, from the transactional model. From the corporate model, we enter a contract with them where they have a set amount where they come in, and then we sign a 12-month deal with them that we provided for them. So that's in the works. So even that part was created like a couple weeks ago. So just figuring it out, but we're really excited. We have been beta testing it, the transactional one, with different customers. About a month ago, we had a programmer from LA who flew in, was here at T-Rex all week. And one thing is that we care about is really that experience. So they're not only paying to be here, but they're paying also to have an experience. We're talking with them about recommendations to different restaurants around the space that they're at. So really honing in on that key piece.
Yes. Oh.
So how are you folks handling inventory management So let's say, in this market, it may not be as acute as need, but in markets like Chicago, LA, New York, there are times when co-working spaces are actually full. So if I purchase a day, let's say, and is it like an active space management tool yet, or is it on the roadmap, or what's kind of the plan there?
So all of our spaces have access to the back end, their admin panel, where they can log in, set blackout dates. It's just like Airbnb. So when a coworker submits a request, then they can accept or decline them depending on their capacity.
Who else?
Did you mention which cities? I might have missed it.
Which cities?
Which cities, yes.
Okay, Atlanta, Chicago, Columbus, Ohio, Denver, Dallas, Houston, Kansas City, DC, St. Louis,
Nashville.
Nashville, thank
Yep,
you,
yep,
and
yep.
Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yes, and very soon we'll be in San Francisco. So we just
Where's that?
had a meeting with a co-working space there. So we'll be announcing that very, very soon.
Other questions? Is there a big question askers? You guys are asleep this morning. Okay, a couple more up front. Hold on.
So what are your plans marketing-wise for getting the word out for the transactional type of the Airbnb model?
For that, what we plan to do is have a series of conversations with our spaces that already have that co-working community. So we want all of our spaces on our platform to get the marketing materials that they can then promote to their coworkers. Hey, you're going to St. Louis, come get a space at T-Rex or at any of our other spaces.
And also one thing is that we also care about is that kind of content marketing. So even throughout this Innovative Spaces Week, we've been creating short videos and really talking, like we just did a video at Industrious, and talking about the space and what they provide. So being able to put that out and be a voice to the innovation community. So when people are thinking about coming to St. Louis, they're getting to see a really cool video of T-Rex. And we actually have Kurt here. He does VR, and he actually did VR for the whole this whole floor, and we're able to make a video about that. And so being able to show that to our audiences, where our different spaces are being able to see that, their community are being able to see that. So it kind of gives kind of free marketing for these spaces too.
Oh, I wanted to add another thing to that. We were listening to this podcast about how Airbnb got started, and they were trying to think of everything in terms of scalability, but what they realized was getting off the ground, they had to do things that didn't scale, like go to these homes and take pictures themselves because the homeowners weren't doing that. But once they cultivated very hands-on these amazing experiences, it just started catching on, and that's how they then scaled. So we thought about that in terms of MultiPass and how we really want to craft incredible experiences for our few coworkers that are traveling, so that when they go home, they tell their friends.
Yeah, so getting your early adopters to be a part of your virality and your marketing and everything. So yeah, that's
Exactly.
smart. Yeah.
So what's your 12-month vision? Are you looking at more corporate partners or individual entrepreneurs as your biggest customer?
Our vision right now is to build that corporate base so that that can sustain us as we grow our transactional model. And our vision for growing is we wanted to launch in several different cities. But now what we want to do is, instead of seeking out those cities that we're just choosing we think would be a good fit, put put it in the hands of our user. So if you're traveling to
Fargo,
New
North
York.
Dakota.
If you travel, what's that?
I said Fargo, North Dakota. They're like
Yes.
one of the most active 1 million cups. They have like 200 people every Wednesday morning. They're doing a lot of really
Wow.
cool stuff and competing with Kansas City for the most people. So there are those hidden places
Yes.
that might
Yes.
not be the San Franciscos of the world, but
So if you're traveling to North Dakota, you can contact us, your guides to innovative spaces, and tell us what it is you want, and then we'll go seek out that space for you, and then go ahead and put it on our platform as well.
so as I walk over here to get
Josh.
who are your competitors? Who else is doing something similar?
So right now, Liquid Space is one of the biggest in the market. They're the giant. One thing is that they've done differently. They've really focused on flex office spaces, and so they understood that that's where the money is with the corporate side. And then you have Pure Space. You can book any space, but it's by activity. So if you're doing a prom or birthday party or whatever, and so they have thousands and thousands of spaces on there. But we're really trying to focus really on that relationship and that kind of that corporate innovation. But we're kind of using Liquid Space as kind of the follow the leader, which is what you need to do as a startup.
Do you have an end game in mind? Like, do you want to be acquired by Travelocity? Is there an end game in mind in this market space? Like, most app developers want to be acquired by Google or something like that. Like, what is your end game in this market?
Definitely, would like to be acquired. We're thinking more like Expedia or something along those lines. Even like maybe airline as well.
Yeah. So Airbnb, we noticed they're doing a push towards corporate travel with our traveling coworkers and then our corporate partnerships. That might be a good end goal for acquisition.
So, what does it look like on your website as far as like, a space? I assume it has things like Airbnb, but like instead of bedrooms, it's like these are the amenities, or you can sort of sort by different qualifications or whatever. So, how does that look?
Yeah. So right now we have symbols. You can see the different amenities. You also have a link to their website, so you can. A lot of times the co-working websites, they have a lot of great content and information. So we have a link to that, and yeah. So you can also a big visual as well. We are going to be soon releasing the second iteration of our website pretty soon. So look out for that, and that will actually have a lot better search parameters and stuff. So that's something I'll be working on. So I'm excited about that. And then our third iteration will be the app as well.
Hi, great website. Love you guys. I was just looking at your website, and I see for St. Louis you have a .zac site, but there's not a price on that one. Does it mean it's free to go to that?
No, they are. So they have office space, and so currently we're working on figuring that price point out. So that'll be up soon. Yeah.
Two questions. First one is, what's your Twitter handle? The second one is that you're doing content marketing. Those of us can help you. The second question is, you talk about events. That's a whole different thing. When you're planning an event, you need to know a lot of different information. So how are you handling that?
We're handling that through our concierge. So we didn't want to put too much on our website to overwhelm the user. But we have the request a space concierge where they can get all the details that they want through one-to-one customer service. Oh, Twitter. Yes, right now we're focusing on Facebook and Instagram because and LinkedIn. because we really wanted to sell on the visual elements of space. And once we grow those platforms a little bit, then we'll reach out to Twitter.
Okay, one more.
So, by events, do you mean like I can set up a marathon in Erie, Pennsylvania? Like if I wanted as a business to have a marketing approach in which I wanted to have marathons and not just do it in St. Louis, but do it in several cities at once. By events, you mean just like a small room, or can I do events around it? Like, will it help me find out what needs to be done to do events in the city that it's in?
So specifically with the corporations that we're targeting, they're entering a contract with us to be able to provide that space. So we have a community, we already have deals set with these spaces. So once they have access to that space, then they can contact that space and they can work out the details for their events. We don't plan the events, we don't set the event perimeters or anything like that. Like if you come here to T-Rex, that we are able to give you access to that, and then you can deal with the space details.
But if you're planning an event and you want the right space for it, like a marathon, I don't know. We've never considered outdoor events. We've only considered indoor space events. But if you send us the details of your vision, then we can help locate that right space for you. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Really like the idea. I think you guys have a really good niche. One thing I would caution against is don't bite off too much right now. Like you're kind of saying, hey, we could do this, we could do this. Figure out what you guys really are doing well and do it. I think I'm just giving unsolicited advice, take it or leave it. I think your next step, rather than branching into kind of looking to do events and all this, you need more cities. I mean, quite frankly, your path now is to get on the airplane and eat your own cooking, find co-working spaces around the country. I mean, we shouldn't see you guys in St. Louis for the next 6 months. Is really what you guys should be doing, because the broader your platform, the more it becomes an actual platform. Right now, it's a baby platform, and so that's just unsolicited. Rather than having all these great ideas, which really can work in the long run, I think you're better off really delivering on what you do, and I think you've got the bones to really deliver something interesting.
Thank you.
Okay, so let us wrap up our Q&A with our 1 million cups question. What can the community do for you? You touched a little bit on it, but anything you want to expand on?
Yes, so we have 2 asks. The first is introductions to the corporations. And the second ask is, if you are looking for a space, if you need a space anywhere, come talk to us about it, and we'll find that space for you, put it on our website so that we can get in more cities.
Or if we know of awesome spaces that should be on your platform?
Exactly,
yes, that's another one. We're always looking for great spaces. So if you know of one, please shoot us a message.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Rest of the day, I'm sorry, I'll run down the day.
That's right.
Noon is Dustin McKisson. He'll be doing a lunchtime talk.
Here?
And
What'd you say?
Dustin McKisson.
No, here. Did you say here?
Yes,
Okay.
It'll be right here in this very spot. Then at 6 p.m. There'll be a panel discussion. Several architects and different people from design. We're going to be talking about connectivity. So please come out tonight, and also look up the rest of the events as well.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.